eye of Africa, the Richat structure. Concentric rims of land, alternating with deep troughs, correspond with the unusual shape of Atlantis. With the land lower or the sea level higher, the correlations with Atlantis become clearer. Other clues in Plato's text find correlations here. The white, red, and black stone, springs of salt water, and one of fresh water. The preponderance of elephant remains, mountains, rivers, and a plateau to the north. A landlock of prehistoric mud, silt, and sand between the structure and the waters of the Atlantic. Rosen and Alexander show that the scale of the Richat structure corresponds with the measurements Plato gave for the Atlantean capital. They show that the outer ring has a diameter of 23.5 kilometers. This matches the 127 stadia of Plato's texts. Critics suggest that this measurement doesn't take account of the full extent of the Richat structure, which appears to be significantly larger, 35 to 50 kilometers. Yet the structure is rimmed by mountains on the north side, landlocked by a morass of sand and silt, just as Plato had described. It's abutted by a plateau and extends to what may have been a passageway to the sea. All powerful correlations. But is Mauritania the right location? Plato's phrase, beyond the pillars of Heracles, suggests a location beyond the known world. Even an underwater Mauritania would have been immediately adjacent to the northwest African mainland. Furthermore, the orientation of the Richat structure is not to the north and south, as Plato said, but to the southwest, and the abutting plain doesn't match the details given by Plato. The area of ancient mud, silt, and sand posed no imaginable obstacle to the navigability of the region at the time of Plato, contrary to his claims about the aftermath of Atlantis. And if the Richat structure is the remnant of Atlantis, where are the remains of the street systems and megalithic structures? Where is the evidence that an advanced civilization ever called this place home? Civilization ever called this place home? Under the coastal waters of Cuba, Malta, the Gulf of Cambay, the remains of the cities are still there. Streets, steps, buildings, temples, all present and visible even after 10,000 years under the sea. Wouldn't something similar remain, even if flattened and scattered, around the Richat structure? When we look at the timing of the demise of this previous civilization, of which Plato's Atlantis, if it existed, was a part, it corresponds with the timing of the most recent extinction-level event on planet Earth that we know of. Pioneering scientists like Richard Firestone of the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory and Albert Goodyear of the University of Southern Carolina, James Kennett at the University of California, really stuck their neck out with this thesis, but it's now part of a growing scientific consensus that our planet was indeed impacted by the exploding fragments of a massive asteroid which 12,800 years ago obliterated the Clovis civilization on North America. It extincted 70% of that continent's megafauna. It would have triggered sky fires and tsunamis around the world, blanketing the planet in a pall of dust and ash and soot. What's known as the Clovis Comet plunged the northern half of planet Earth back into an ice age even more severe than the one we'd just been emerging from. And at that time, the future of humanity itself would have hung in the balance. So it isn't hard to conceive of an island nation experiencing seismic disturbances and then disappearing under the waves, just as Plato said of Atlantis. The impact of the Clovis comet, its fragments, and the planetary changes that followed give an explanation of why coastal cities adjacent to Cuba, Malta, Japan, India are now under up to 36 meters of seawater.
With moment, the Younger Dryas Cold period, a period whose effects continued until 11,600 years ago. A massive meteorite crater beneath the ice fields of Greenland's Hiawatha Glacier measures 31 kilometers in diameter and may correspond with the timing of the Younger Dryas. Extinctions of megafauna included woolly rhinos and mammoths, mastodons and saber-toothed tigers in North America and Europe, the giant sloth in South America, and enormous versions of buffalo, zebra and wildebeest on the African subcontinent. Might the recap structure correspond with Plato's Atlantis? Or does its orientation and position misalign with Plato's description? Might its burial in salt and ocean sand have all been part of a wider cataclysm triggered by the Clovis comet? With the absence of megalithic structures and other questions unanswered, one has to ask, is it even in the right location?